Hi, I'm Jill.
And I'm John.
And we're the Geezers on the Go.
Go, go, go.
In this episode, we're at Shawnee State Park in the south central part of Pennsylvania, in an area steeped in history, both long ago and more recent. The park is located in Schellsburg, about halfway between Pittsburgh and the capital of Harrisburg. The park has 212 sites, 16 with full hookups, 94 with electric, and the rest primitive. And there's the 450-acre Shawnee Lake that attracts fishermen from all over the state.
The sense of history is almost palpable in the area. Nearby Bedford, and the fort that it's named after, go back to pre-revolutionary days. And yes, George Washington actually did sleep here. There's also a fascinating covered bridge tour in Bedford County. There are 14 bridges on the tour, and we managed to find 3 of them before we got rained out. And finally, we'll take you out to the Flight 93 National Memorial and the Tower of Voices, a chilling reminder of bravery in the face of terrorism.
We're here at Shawnee State Park in Schellsburg, Pennsylvania. It's sort of the southern end of Pennsylvania, not that far from Maryland. We're in site 44. It's hard to see the number. It's way at the other end. We're in a pull-through, but it's one of those, to me, backward pull-throughs where they put the door in the front, and then you have all this space behind you instead of your picnic tables in the back. And if you had kids, it'd probably be great, or if you had a dog, you could walk your dog back here, and there's a little birdie over there. But as you can see here, we also have, we just have electric here. You have to fill up your tank as you come into the park. But we're here in early May, and there's nobody here. This is one of many loops. One of the loops does have full hookups. They're in Loop B. We drove through it, didn't like it very much. Too many sites, too close together. There were a few nice ones, but we liked the seclusion of our site better. Look down here, there's nobody here. There's one person way down there and over there. But right now, I guess it's still a little early season. I won't go through some of the loops. This one is Loop A. Has quite a few sites, both, I guess you could call primitive with no hookups at all, and the rest have electric. Again, this is Loop A. These are mostly the numbers in the 40s right along here. Those are sort of pull-throughs, but they have double boxes, so one site would be right by the power box, and the other one you'd have to have a really long extra extension cord for your power. These rows down here are also A. The van down there, that's John's sister. And these are kind of nice sites. I wish we were over on this side, closer to his sister, but when we made them, we weren't sure what was what because we'd never been here before. These are some of the sites as you come into the park. This is 3, 4, and 5. They wouldn't be too bad. They're sort of level and they have power. But the one over here, again, I said has power on the opposite side, so you need a very long extension cord. And then there's a big water tower. And this one goes all the way around the loop to other sections of Loop A. And this down here is from 89 to 96. Now this side has no power. This site has power, but most of the sites are very uneven. I'm not sure how you'd get yourself level. Maybe some leveling blocks, because this is, you got 89 and then switches over to 92. This is another one of those double boxes, so I'm not even sure where you go in on that site. Maybe in between these 2 trees. And I guess 92 might not be bad. It's a little bit more level. But all of these are just grass. And hope you'd have to hope for the best. This one probably be about the best, 90, 92. But it's all sort of downhill on this loop, or this part of loop A. There is a central water spigot over here for you to use, but I'm not sure I'd like any of these sites up over here. The first turn in you come on A loop comes down into the sites that are 60s and 70s, and this has electric. The first few up here, and I think there might be 58, 59, they're kind of small and not very level, but as you come down a little bit, they get a little bit better. They're more gravelly and more suited for today's RVs and trailers. Most of those other ones are sort of old school, kind of small for maybe tents or little pop-ups or something. But get down into this road, and this one's a lot nicer from over here 78 to 88 and down into the rest of the 60s. They all have the electric, and their sites are a lot more level. As you come down this little side road here, I think that's into the high 70s and 80s. These wouldn't be too bad. At least you have some trees, and they're gravelly, and they're a little bit flatter as opposed to the ones up at the top of the loop. This one's a little pull-through, 82, and they allow, as you can tell, they allow pets. They got little doggies on the thing here. This one, at least, if you came in to pull through this one, your picnic table's on the right side, and your power would be behind you. 83 back here is kind of nice, although it's a slightly sloped at the end. As you continue out of A loop, which would be us down at that end, you would come down into here into the 50s, 52, 53, and there's 2 nice sites that are over there, kind of back into the trees. Be easy to get into. Looking one more time in this loop here in the 70s, I said that was kind of nice. The one drawback is there's no bathhouse here. So if you go to the bathhouse, take a shower, the only closest one is down behind us, way, you can't even see it from here, way around the corner and down at the end of this loop. The area just below us in loop A is loop C, which just has regular campsites. There's no hookups or no water or electric. And some are nice, some are kind of uneven. And they go when they up this little hill here. There's quite a few spots that are sort of into the trees, so it'll be kind of pretty if you don't need any water and electric. This is D loop right next to our A loop because we're right over there. Not many people here either. These sites also offer sites with electric, and it's a nice shaded loop. Again, we're here at the beginning of May and there's not a lot of people here, even though it's a beautiful day. We'll just take a quick look around this one. As you come into the D loop, the ones to your right don't have any electric as you first sight you come in, but the ones on the other side, starting at 167, there are some power boxes, but again, they're very unlevel, all grassy. I'm thinking it might have been an older loop here because they're not real long, and they're not, I would say sometimes, RV friendly. I mean, something like this, you're in a hole almost in this site. This park also has some cabins and yurts, and this is one of the cabins that's in loop D. Very big porch. Might be for handicap too, because it has a little runway there for a wheelchair, but the parking lot here is gigantic. And let's see if I can see into the windows. Looking inside, it appears to have 2 sets of bunk beds, table. There's no kitchen or anything, but there is electric, and it looks like there's heat. And I guess if you wanted to cook, so you're cooking out here, and then you could eat out at the picnic table and just look out at all the nice trees. And here in the D loop again, there's a couple of yurts and some cabins back there. one or two little regular camping sites right around in there, but again, very uneven, even though they have power. Right now, I says it's the beginning of May, and maybe it'll change later, but looks like the nicest sites in D are from 191 all the way up on the left-hand side, and they all say they're closed for the season. Starting in that D loop at 192 and coming up along the trees, these wouldn't be too bad. They're fairly level, and you got trees behind you, and you have a lot of space in between each site, and they're pretty level. So if I was going to have anything in a D loop, I'd have them on the right-hand side, right towards the end of the loop in the high 190s. Here at the park, there's a nice big lake, and it's also called Shawnee Lake. It has a little bit of a boat launch. Shawnee Lake is a popular fishing spot and offers a huge variety of game fish, with largemouth bass, walleye, muskies, and all sorts of panfish. This is just one of the big beach areas here at Shawnee, and there's a nice sandy beach. We'll take a walk down there. Big grassy area. Big, looks like an in-season, it's a big concession stand. Right now it's about mid-May, and there's a little playground over here. The only problem I see with this place is that there's really no parking here. You have to park about a big distance back behind those trees, and then bring all your stuff down here. I guess you could drop off and then go back up. It'd be kind of tough if you have a couple of kids and towels and toys and stuff, but it's a very pretty beach. Wish it was a little prettier day so you could see the trees and how everything's so colorful here, but it is a very decent sandy beach here, and it looks like when they clean this, it'd be good if you had a stroller or wheelchair to get down to the beach. And they put these fences here now. I think we've been to one or two other Pennsylvania parks. I think it's to keep the geese off the beach, because boy, they can sure make a mess. This is another area just a little bit past that beach area. I think they call this Beach East. And there is a parking lot up on the top there, and I think it would probably be better to park there to come down to get to the beach over there than the first parking lot, because boy, that would be some walk. And there's a few handicap spots down here a little lower, but even that's quite a bit of a trek down to the beach. But there is a little bathhouse here. But it's very pretty. We wish it was a nicer day. Great day for the ducks, though. Oh, here comes Dad. Here comes Dad.
Yeah, this park is, I read somewhere that they talked about sort of seamlessly merging it with nature, which they've done to a good extent. It's
a lot of trees, a lot of grass, a lot of not close together. You don't feel like
you're kind of spread out here, and the roads are paved, but the sites are mostly gravel and dirt. There's
quite a few sites here, a bunch of different loops, and a lot of the sites have just electric, no water hookup, so you fill up when you come in. But there's a lot that are just plain with no amenities or no hookups at all.
Yeah, and they have a lot of smaller sites, a lot of sites that are appropriate for tents and smaller rigs, a lot of pop-ups here.
Yeah, I would say if you have a bigger rig, you better check the amount of the site, because they're not. Some of them aren't very big, and some of them are not very level.
Well, they do have a row of sites in our loop that you can put a big rig in. But like Jill said, you got to make sure that you got one of those if you got a big rig.
Even though there is a big lake here, it's almost like 450 acres. None of the sites are by the lake, and it's a little bit of a drive to get down there, but it's a nice big lake.
Yeah, and they do have some beaches. The parking's a long way from the beaches.
Right, so make sure you
expect a hike.
If you have one of those little foldable wagons, I'd say get one, because especially if you have kids.
And the lake, despite its size, there's no gas motors allowed.
Right, so. Only electric motors.
Yeah.
But there's quite a few things to do right around the park.
Yeah, we saw some really cool covered bridges.
Yeah, there's a trail, and I think there's at least 12 or 14 different bridges. We only managed to see about 3. But
it was raining.
It was raining, so we only saw about 3. But
it is Pennsylvania after all.
But I think one of the highlights was at the Flight 93 Memorial, the one plane that crashed here during 9/11. Yeah, the ones that the people took over the plane and crashed it so it wouldn't go down to the Capitol.
Yeah, that was pretty emotional.
Yeah.
And there was a huge tower. They call it the Tower of Voices, which is one of the largest wind chimes ever made.
That was emotional and kind of spooky all at the same time.
Yeah. Before we go out to the Flight 93 Memorial, we want to take a quick look at Fort Bedford Museum, about 15 miles from the campground. Fort Bedford was built in 1758 during the French and Indian War. It was designed as a resupply depot at the eastern end of what would later become the Lincoln Highway.
Which is the Lincoln Highway, which was the first road that the British built from the east side of the state to Pittsburgh when they were going to kick the French out of Pittsburgh. Okay? And so they built a fort here at the time. The British said, this time we're going to build a road, we're going to take a substantial number of men, and we're going to take cannon, and we're going to build a chain of supply forts along the way. Bedford was built.
The museum contains a lot of very old and unique items, such as this rare English flag from the French and Indian War.
People think the mail was slow coming today. Imagine getting your mail delivered by this thing.
Well, we're headed down Fopple Road, which is basically a cart path, to our first covered bridge on our little covered bridge tour.
Well, here's our first stop on our covered bridge tour. There's a bunch in this county here, not far from our Shawnee campground, and it's only about 5 miles to this one. It says weight limit is 3 tons, but I'm not sure if we can drive through here. Let's take a look, see what's on the other side. Well, we walked down a little bit past the bridge down this road, so I don't think we can go across it because it's a dead end. There's a little chain across there, so we'll just go and look at it. This is bridge number 7 on the tour, and we're probably going to go see, we're going backwards, we're going to see 6, 7, 6, and then 5, because that makes a big loop around the campground.
Well, we didn't get to drive through, but we're going to go take some pictures anyway.
I'll take my waterproof camera.
Yeah, she's got her underwater camera with her.
And this is the Colvin Bridge. You can probably hear the rain hitting the top of the bridge. Again, this is Herline Bridge. This is the one we just passed through in the car. Supposed to be one of the longest ones. So this is one of the few that one of the only ones that we saw that you can't look through as you go through. But there's a creek down there. Oh, there's a car coming.
The Flight 93 Memorial is in Shanksville, about 17 miles from the park. It is a somber reminder of the bravery of its 40 passengers and crew. On September 11, 2001, those 40 souls crashed Flight 93 here and prevented terrorists from reaching their target in the U.S. Capitol.
Just about where those people are standing down there, that's where the plane finally ended up, in this big field. And I like that on the glass here it says, a common field one day, a field of honor the next, forever. Well, this tower, you're supposed to be able to hear some wind chimes to represent the sounds of the people who decided on 9/11 to down the plane.
We're so glad you decided to join us on this excursion, and, as always, we'll see you down the road.